Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for one of our Patreon one-shots. This time, I plan to kill everyone you see before you in space. We're playing Alien, and that's it. That's how Alien goes. If you've seen it, things explode out of people, things explode into people, people explode in general. That's the game. If you guys like what we do here and you want to support this channel, the best way to do that is over on Patreon, just like these fine folks here. Link for that is down below. While you are down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I explode an alien out of someone's chest. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of fun things, like books and giveaways and art and hiring people to do this job for me. And that is that. I will have a disclaimer that there are no asteroids in this game, exploding ships, just aliens exploding people. And content warning, this is Alien. It's a space horror game. There's blood, gore. It's pretty gross. If that's not your jam, scoot. Cool. Iquin, just, submitting to your own death. The players have been warned that this game could be very short, depending on how dumb their characters are. So, that being said, you all are essentially space truckers. You are on the star freighter, the USCSS Montero, running the Gauntlet. Your ship's cargo is packed with dozens of tanks of the rare gas helium-3. This small run is a special order for a Weyland-Yutani corporate account on Sutter's World, a newly established frontier colony. Your cargo run so far has been without incident. Now you are just awakened from hypersleep, ready to deliver your goods to the colony of Sutter's World. So with a and a plume of fog, you are all released from your various cryosleep tubes as the coffin essentially extends out of its drawer and the top part opens up, allowing you guys to breathe fresh, non-recycled air. Well, your own recycled air. The ship's recycled air. Slightly different. As you guys sort of like stretch and extend and shake off that cryo sleep, you see that the ship begins to slowly power on as the lights come back on as you are taken out of FTL flight. Cool. As you all convene in the mess hall, as is normal for you to do after waking up from cryo sleep, let's hear a description of all of your characters. Starting with the ship's captain.
As you see, Raphael Scott come in and get the morning goo. What is it? Just goo in this show? Am I getting my?
No. There's coffee. There are pastes. There's no like actual food. It's more like freeze-dried things. Stuff you can rehydrate with water. And they do have actual coffee. Once the like all of the gravity and stuff kicks on, you're able to kind of have a normal kitchen. Everything is freeze dried.
Yeah, I take my freeze dried peas. It's like, why didn't they stock this ship with anything else? I never get that. I ask and ask, but nope, just peas. As he's getting on his normal clothes, ready for the day, throws on his bomber jacket, hat, drinks his coffee with a handful of peas.
Perfect. Who is the next to join the captain in the mess?
I guess I will be. A youngish woman walks into the mess hall. Her name is Dr. Willow Tasker. She is a scientist, but she doesn't look like your typical white lab coat bearing, stuffy know-it-all. She's actually wearing more brown and gray toned clothing, pants, a jacket. Her hair is cut really short, and she's got like an undercut, and it's kind of angled downwards, and just platinum blonde. And she kind of walks in, checking like a clipboard that has a bunch of what do you call it, like the manifest of what they're carrying, and She looks at Captain Scott and peas for breakfast.
I asked for something else, but it's what they got
Well,
us on rotation.
This is your ship.
I know.
She goes in and she helps herself to a good helping of the paste and the side of the goo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Who joins
down.
in next?
Oh, and also, sorry, she walks with a limp.
Ooh, okay. Who else is next?
Well, if El Profe doesn't do it, I can be next. Sergeant Roy McKernan, soldier through and through. He keeps his hair short, his features well shaved. I would imagine that he would come out of cryo sleep, like do a one over, making sure he doesn't have any stubble. Everything he does is trained. It's, like a ritual. You've done it thousands of times. You can do it in your sleep. You put on the clothing exactly as ordered. You go make sure you've shaved, and then you report for them to the mess hall for grub. And he walks in. You can see that he has dressed in the standard Marines sort of, casual wear, like sweatpants and such when he comes out, and got multiple scars all over both arms and face and everything. And the only real thing that stands out that is not like Marine issue, like standard issue clothing, is his necklace he has around his shoulder, around his neck. And he will just like go up, get himself some peas, some coffee, look at it, sort of mutter, "Had worse," and then come join the other ones, just like, "Doosh. Morning."
Morning.
It's a muted mic.
It is.
Sorry,
me.
I said she tips her coffee cup to him. I was muted too.
I said, last but not least.
Alexis Knight sort of withdraws from cryo sleep. She's probably trying to sleep in, and she gets poured awake by Collins, the ship's cat, who's been cuddled up with her. She's like, "Oh, for God's sake, Collins." You're a hunter. You don't eat breakfast. She assures the cat. So she walks in, being with the cat sort of weaving between her legs. She's very different to all the colonial marshals you've ever seen before. She has a flop hook, and she still hasn't done her hair yet, so it's falling over one eye. And yeah, you expect colonial marshals to look like Roy, but with a bit more of a Clint Eastwood complex. But no, she's very punk. She's she's eloquently spoken. She's British. From that hell site that is London, and you're still not quite sure why she's on the crew with you. Morning, all. Top of the morning to you.
Just a question: what would we call her since she's a marshal? Does she have like a rank or a title, or just like Marshal Knight or?
Colonial Marshal is the title. I don't think there are ranks in the colonial marshal thing. It's like officer, like the way you would refer to a cop, or sheriff is more what it would be as a generic sort of term. Within their ranks, they have ranks, but like outside people, you'd call them a sheriff.
I think they had
officer.
Sergeants in isolation and hierarchy beyond that.
They do, but it's like when you see a cop, you don't know what their actual rank is unless you know cop ranks. Whereas military is a little slightly different.
Yeah, so she would just be like Marshal, and then takes a deep gulp of her coffee. That coffee
will put hair on your chest is something that is said by space truckers. It is rocket fuel. It is the most bitter, high energy coffee you've ever tasted, and it has the consistency of a pudding cup. It is grimy and smells as bad as it tastes. But it's it keeps you going. It keeps you going. Yeah, so you you draw back on some of this crud as you all sort of gather around the table, and you hear the internal comms switch on.
Captain,
Go ahead, Chip.
I am unable to communicate with Sutter's world.
How far are we from Sutter's world? 'Cause it couldn't be a range issue. Close.
Captain, I am sending out a signal and I am getting nothing in return.
Are we close enough to view the planet? I want to see maybe if there's a storm.
Yeah, so you can head over to like one of the blast shields, and you kind of hit the button on it. It comes open. You just see infinite space out of this port. If you'd like, you can roll me a Comtech and see if you can mess around with the computer and.
Nope.
Okay, so you pull the terminal down. You click, 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 click. Comes across everything you know about. You're a pilot, less of a comms guy. But you click across the keys, and you can't see anything wrong with this.
Oh.
I mean, obviously
Maybe
you don't
something's-
see a planet out of the port side, but
Oh, yeah.
Are we
Maybe
facing
the
the
comms
right
are
way?
down.
Yes.
Can we put on the
computer-
the reverse
yeah.
cameras?
Yeah, check the rear view mirror. The computer must have done a sick handbrake turn as we came out of FTL.
Yeah, good question. Are we facing the right way?
Anyone can go over to additional portholes and hit the blast shield, and you look around and you just see space.
What's going on, Captain? Where
Okay.
is Sutter's world?
That's weird. I'm going to check the star map of the ship to make sure it didn't glitch out, and we're like a light year off of our destination.
Cool.
That'd be another
So let me see here. Is there a better role for you? It would normally be Comtech, but let me see. Yeah, it's Comtech. Comtech is the best thing I got there for you. Wouldn't be piloting. One success. Okay, cool. So you move over to a different terminal. You start hitting a few things, a few buttons. Click, click, click. You roll the keyboard down. You start typing things on there. You're half right. Your star charts are wrong. They show you as outside of Sutter's world. However, as you have just walked around the ship and looked out of a myriad of portholes, you're not. As you start to click through these things and figure out, right before you jumped into FTL, there was a minor glitch recorded by Mother. Your star maps are off. You are in space.
Captain, are we having a problem?
Well,
Yeah, a glitch happened as soon as we went to hypersleep, basically. So all our star maps are off.
What?
I see.
And she'll come over. She has Comtech as well, and she's just going to look over. So what does that mean? Where are we?
Well, we'd have to brute force it unless one of us is a astronomy major. I don't think we're going to find out as quickly manner as we'd hope. So we had to figure out where the nearest station would have been after we rematch the star map.
Do you want me to give it a shot?
Yep.
Okay.
Scientists.
Is that something that I can do? Can I try and figure out where our proper location is?
You can try, but you would need more than one success on a Comtech roll.
Yeah, I'm assuming we need some kind of reference point, and we have none.
Mm-hmm.
Comtech. Do I have anything that helps me with this? I do not. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. I added a stress die just to test it. So I got 2 successes.
Cool. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so you go over the star charts that he just had pulled up, right? You had to jump between a space station and Sutter's world. Everything seems like the jump went okay. You know where your trajected path was. So you can see like your starting location, your destination location, and like the dotted line across the array. You're in that. Nothing says that you veered off course in FTL. You just don't know where along that path you are. You know that if you continued going straight, you could possibly get there, but you have no idea how far you are from your destination.
Yeah, so at least we're still in the shipping lane. So in theory, not completely foobarred. But there's no way to really track or pinpoint where we are along the line.
Well, that's some good news, Doc. Like that we're at least in the lane. You're like not being completely foobar.
You know, I prefer life in the fast lane.
Captain,
I want to do a con check to see if there's any readings that went off of any astral body disturbances that may have thrown us off a little bit.
Okay. As you sidle up next to the terminal, you hear, "Captain, please report to the bridge."
That's where we were.
All right.
You're in the mess hall.
We're in the mess hall. I start running towards the bridge as fast as possible.
Okay.
Because funnily, we got in a mess while we were in the mess hall.
You know, that's how it works. So the galley is a straight tunnel right to the bridge. So the door opens, you run through the hallway, it closes behind you. "Captain, I have received a distress call."
Ship, station, or planet colony?
"Ship, I believe."
What's the distress signal?
"I'm uncertain."
Can you play it?
The distress call is distorted. One moment." And she plays a distress signal. It is 95% static. It's this US under cryo.
I'm going to do a context to try to make it a little bit more clear as possible.
Sure. Yeah. Roll me.
Can we all be there for that? Is that okay?
That depends, Captain. Would you have let everyone else on the bridge?
I didn't even close the door. I just rushed into here.
Sure. So yeah, if you guys ran in after him, you can say that.
I know Roy wouldn't have. He would have gone back to like his room or whatever to start to gear up because he doesn't like this. This is a bad feeling. You should always be prepared.
Okay. Captain, if we can triangulate where the signal is coming from, we could possibly locate the ship itself. Proximity may aid in the distortion.
All right. Let's try to figure out where the ship is and get a little closer to see what the sitch is.
This will take me a few minutes, Captain.
Oh, he's not rolling. Okay.
So
right.
Mother comes across and says that it will take a few minutes, and she begins running calculations, sort of leaving you, Dr. Willow, and Captain Scott in the bridge here, having heard, I assume the tail end of a distress signal. Dr. Willow, knowing just enough that like there's a distress signal, and what is going on. As you guys see, like the computers sort of spring to life and like numbers are being run and there's like trajectories being calculated about where this signal could be coming from.
Okay, she will just like lean against the console and wait and kind of just like play with her hair nervously.
Not the best start to a job, nor is it a good end. Could be worse.
You cut out a little bit. What did you say?
That this is not the best start of a job, nor is it the worst middle of it.
Mm-hmm. I guess it could be worse. And she knocks on the console that she's sitting on.
Captain, I believe I have a heading. With your permission, I'll fire the engines.
Mission granted.
Captain, do you think this is a good idea?
We're lost. There are only people out here. We help them. We might be able to get their star maps to update ours. It's better than trying to figure this out on our own.
You all hear the engines, the reactor heating up as the engines fire, and you begin slowly moving through space. Because she's always listening. In the bridge, you hear, Dr. Tasker, I will remind you that it is company policy to report on any distress signal received.
Right, of course. Thank you, Mother.
When the ship starts to move, I would come in over the comms.
Captain, do we have our heading again? I noticed that we're starting to move.
That's a negative. We're heading to a distress signal. It's sketchy at best from what we're getting at this distance. We're gonna round up there, help them out, and hopefully get an update on our location as well.
I'll finish gearing up and I will head over to the bridge. Out.
Feeling the engines fire up, Alexis is going to knock on the metal, and she's just standing there with the AK 4047 on her shoulder. Space pirates, perhaps.
Well, the ship, we haven't got a clear visual of it. Don't know yet. Possible chance. Or hell, they could have gotten the same glitch we did, and we're both fucked.
It is. Yeah. It does seem unfortunately likely.
I have a thought / question. Of course, I don't know if it can be even answered. Would Mother drop us out of FTL if that signal was being picked up on route?
You can't communicate in hyperspace. So you cannot receive signals in FTL flight. So Mother would not have gotten a transmission. At least your ship's sensors are not anywhere near powerful enough to get FTL messaging. So no, not on this ship would be the best answer I can get you. No, she couldn't have done that on this ship. Unless Captain Scott is just loaded and has very expensive tech that he's been lying about the entire time. But judging by his bomber hat and baseball cap, you would guess he's not.
Hey. Of course, he wouldn't shake his head and say no.
Yeah.
Of course, someone would say that.
Yeah.
Just because he's got a little thing called style. You think he's poor.
Yeah, because he looks like a space trucker. Everyone on the bridge, roll me observation.
Have I made it to the bridge when this happens?
If you want to, you can.
Sure.
Hold on. I'm supposed to be good at this. No successes.
Love that.
I have no idea where anything is.
Observation is in the big diamond in the center, on the right-hand side, I think.
Yeah,
there, found it. Thank you.
It took me a hot second. Like, where the hell are the skills?
Okay, cool. So everyone is in the bridge, and at the last second, Sergeant McKernan walks in, and you see that on one of the computers, there is like a flashing red triangle with an exclamation point in it, and it's blinking like 4, 5, 6 times as you kind of walk up, like almost like an error message, right? And as you notice that, you see the type out, and it just says imminent collision on the screen. Sergeant Roy, you see that.
Pilot Scott, is this supposed to be doing this?
I look over and
as soon as your attention is drawn to imminent collision, you hear, Captain, I appear to have found the ship. We are on imminent collision course.
Oh, she's so very, very useful. A day late and $1 short.
Everyone buckle in, and she drops into a seat.
Sure. Everyone brace for impact, and Captain Scott, I would like a piloting check from you at a -2.
So there goes the whole bang, 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 the console to see if the light goes out.
I just had to brace my router for impact. It almost
Okay.
fell off the side of the desk.
Okay. So you slide into your seat. You see Tasker buckle in. I assume like Roy grabs onto something. And I assume Colonial Officer Knight just jumps into a seat, holds the straps down. As you grab on, you start shifting controls, and you see out of the blast doors from the windscreen. You see this massive ship in front of you as you and scrape along the side of it, barely missing this huge ship that seems to have popped out of nowhere. As you scrape along the side of it, you see that none of the shipboard lights are on. This thing looks like a dead junker just floating in space. There is no docking lights on. There are no bridge lights on. There's nothing. This ship looks like it is dead matter floating in space. As you break away from the impending collision and sort of come to a complete stop nearby the ship, everything sort of comes to a stop. The ship doesn't shake anymore. You guys can all relax from the couple G's that just gonna happen as you turned off of that.
Great work, Captain.
Yeah, she turns like, all right, Scott, that's your best flying maneuver yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mother, run a diagnostics on your sensors.
Calibrating sensors.
I would also suggest you maybe get new glasses. Should have gone Specsavers, as the ancient Earth saying goes.
Yeah, you guys can see out of the various portholes and the kind of the sides of the windshield that there is a massive derelict ship. The ship looks to be several decks deep, and it looks to have been part of a larger ship. Not that it was like broken off, but like it ejected off of a much bigger something. But even then, this thing is fairly huge. Unfortunately, at this moment, you can't quite see what the designator is on the ship, and there are no signals bouncing back and forth other than the distorted emergency call.
Can we replay the emergency call?
Yes, you can. You play the emergency call, and you get a slightly less distorted version of what was previously coming out. This is Officer Williams of the USCS Cronus. We have taken damage. We are entering cryosleep. Our reactor is powered down. If anyone can receive this signal, we are at a series of coordinate numbers. Please rescue.
Numbers.
And I
said
guess
his name was Williams?
Yes.
Captain Williams? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how space coordinates work.
let's see. Mother, can you connect with
Dimensions.
this part of the ship?
Three-dimensional.
Yeah, not like Star Trek.
Mother, can you please try to connect with the ship's onboard computer system to see if anyone is still in hypersleep and alive?
Anyone, while that's happening, anyone who is historian, cultural, anything like that, roll me. Let me see here. Roll me. I guess observation would be fine, or survival.
Oh, I have both.
I'm a scientist. Does that count?
It does count. You can roll. What's your science ability? Is it observation and survival? Or is it Comtech? Yeah, you can roll one of those two.
Okay. Nope.
Great. Not your field of science.
It's not.
Captain, I am unable to connect with the onboard ship computer. It seems as though all of their devices are powered down.
Shit.
So we have to go on board and boot her back up.
And get ambushed by the space pirates. Marvelous.
Well, there's nothing else out here. Mother would have sensed them.
Mother.
It's okay.
Would
Well,
she?
Mother didn't sense the ship until last second here.
Yes.
Something's
true.
wrong with their systems. I need to update it when we get the chance.
I would suggest updating it with a crowbar.
Something feels wrong here. I would say we take extreme precautions and care while doing it out. I do have some gadget corporate sent with me to help in this endeavor.
Okay. Willow just kind of
Thank
raises her
God you
eyebrow
waited,
and looks
Utari.
Kernan up and down. Or sorry, McKernan up and down.
Knight, Marshal Knight, you see this ship, and from the voice call of the distress signal, something jogs in the back of your mind. He said the US CSS Cronus. That is not a name you've heard in a long time. In fact, it is a name in books at this point. The US CSS Cronus has been missing for about 3/4 of a century.
Well, I can see we may have a problem. We've just T-boned a ghost ship. It's the USCS Cronus. It's been missing for about 3/4 of a century, 75 years, or there or near about. So downside, sorry, Raf, I think their insurance might be out of date. So if you wanted to claim, probably a bad idea. They've not paid their premiums in some time.
Upside though, if this ship has been here for 75 years, a live space pirates, as you call them, would be very low chance.
Yes, or there might be worse. You must have heard the rumors.
Roll me wits, anyone who listened to Roy just now.
Just straight wits.
Just straight wits. Roy, you can also roll wits. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Rolls are not going my way.
So Alexis Knight, your own sarcasm aside, the talk of space pirates being here is accurate as far as you can understand. Salvaging the USS Cronus would be a far greater haul than waylaying anyone that might have stumbled across this. If they could have, if space pirates found this, bringing this 75-year-old missing derelict back to any Weyland-Yutani port would net them their body weight in credits.
I mean, not that I'm one to seek material things. You know me. I may as well go and join the I may as well go and join the the other side. I have no need of money. The colonial authority, they pay me reasonably. But for those of you interested in gems, gold, that sort of thing, towing this old heap next to us back to NEWY port, well, that should keep you in at least palatable food, maybe the rest of your lives.
I have no idea what you just said, but I get it. Lots of money, yeah. Okay.
But it's 75 years ago money, so.
Yes,
Captain.
it's probably money that does some really good flapper dances.
Captain, I have completed diagnostics. I have taken liberty of sealing off several compartments of the ship, as they have experienced explosive decompression. It also appears as our FTL drives have been damaged in the collision.
I
Thank
told
you,
you should have
corruption bar
got
number
them.
one.
Damn it! I know you. I told you should have got this fixed.
Yeah, well, we didn't get enough money from Wayland at the beginning of the job to update it.
knew it. They were the levels were just too high. They were going to peak at some point, of course.
Guess we have no other choice than go on board and see what's waiting for us on this 75-year-old. I don't know even what to call it. Space hunker, just scraps at this point.
What
Maybe
type
we can
of
find
ship
something
was the
real
Cronus?
ship.
Do we know? Boop, 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 boop. Can we actually look it up?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take that. Now that you have the information, roll me a contact. Just see what happens.
Come on, roll 20. It'll work with me here. Yay! One.
Hey.
Wow.
Perfect. The Cronus is a Wayland SEV Mark III Heliads class spacecraft.
Yes.
You asked a very specific question and expected to not get a specific answer. I don't know what.
It just wasn't what I expected.
What were
It's
you
a cargo
expecting?
ship?
What were you expecting?
Here's a better
Is it
question.
a transport ship? Like, is it transport goods? Is it like a colony ship?
Oh man. No, these are like flagship. So the Heliads class of ships were the first ever FTL capable human space vehicles. They are like the first ones that were launched. So this is like a collector's item, right?
Yeah, this is like literally Antiques Roadshow right here.
Yeah.
Ever see that old show?
Yes.
Pretty good.
So these are
There were British people on it.
Yeah, these were essentially for exploring the unknown galaxy. They were part of, they were relatively massive ships. This seems to be only a portion of the massive ship. And they were able to send scientists, construction crews, planetary engineers, terraformers out to vastly unknown regions of space. Yeah.
Okay. So, did it carry colonists? Or
You don't know.
Okay.
Mother, how compatible could this ship's engines be to ours
As far as like replacement?
as replacement parts at this point?
With some configuration, Captain, they could be used to swap some parts. Repairs would probably take 18 to 24 hours.
Oh,
Bad.
no. Better us to tow it than it to tow us, because I doubt it could survive that.
And I don't know if this is a stupid question for a space game, but is the Cronus drifting, or is it like moving through space, or is it like stationary?
It is drifting.
Okay.
Everything's drifting.
That's what I want to be. It's like, is it always moving? You
Yeah.
know?
It is
Technically-
drifting, and you can like look at your own you're on the bridge, right? So there's a myriad of terminals and shit. You guys are you've slowed down to like keep pace with it, because if you guys came to like as close to a full stop as you possibly could, it would still continue drifting.
Yeah.
So you drift alongside of this thing. It is going fairly slow, but it is going 0.04 light speed. Which is
0.04
slow.
light speed, and it's slow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in space, right? So you're as a scientist, as a person of numbers, your best guess is to have that level of momentum. It would have had to have been moving and cut the engines, and it just kept drifting at the speed in which it was going.
Okay. So it was like what's the term that space people use?
Inertia.
Not running, like it's not running speed, but like it's usually just like
It's not running at all. It is just inertia. It is just momentum. So like it was going and the engines cut, and because there's no friction in space, it just kept going at that same speed perpetually.
but it wasn't going like warp 1 or warp
Nope,
5.
nope,
It was going at cruising speed for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
certain
yeah,
space when
yeah.
it cut the power.
Yeah, it didn't fall out of light speed.
Okay.
At least you don't think so. It was going less than 1 light speed, which is the slowest you can be in light speed.
And there's no visible damage, like it's not struck anything that stopped it.
Not that you can see from where you guys are, other than you striking it just now.
Yeah, is our ship maneuverable enough to do a pass around?
Captain, you give a brief, synopsis of your stuff. You can. Your reactor is damaged, so you can't enter FTL. But the rest, your normal shipboard engines are fine.
All right.
Raph,
I tried to
take a look. Let's see if we can get a look-see around.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pilot the ship as carefully as possible.
Yeah.
Some other sensors can't be trusted at this point.
Don't get it out to first gear and over 20 miles per hour.
Say Roy would. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Roy would take the time to actually also look, but he would look for more strategic entry and exit points from the vessel.
Okay.
So, know your backdoors.
Yeah, roll me observation, Roy.
As soon as I find it.
Center of the character sheet to the right side.
Found it.
Okay. Yeah, you have your eyes peeled looking for any sort of pressure breaches or anything like that as this goes around. And if you see one, I will let you know. Meanwhile, Captain Scott, please roll me a piloting.
Roll 20.
Perfect.
There we go.
You are easily able to match speed with the Cronus and pull alongside. As you pull alongside, Roy, you immediately notice that the main airlock of the Cronus is completely, smashed. It's not smashed in, it's just there is no way to extend the docking arm from either direction to link up. The only way you will be able to board this ship is a spacewalk or some kind of harpoon.
So, Captain, we do have a secondary problem. See that airlock? That's busted.
Could have been worse. Could have been imploded in. Well,
True.
The most dangerous form of spacewalking we go. Line it and hope it stays on.
Spacewalk?
We're going to need the parts to get the reactor going. We're going to have to enter the ship at some point.
All right, then.
Right.
Actually, Mother, are you able to distinguish from that distress signal how old it is?
Running diagnostics.
Oh, it should be in the file metadata.
It is 73 years old.
I'm missing for 70. They were missing for what, 75?
Yeah.
They may have had exactly the same, but they may have overstayed their cryo. Maybe Mother's great-grandmother was as effective.
All right, Captain, could you bring us on in real close? Is that doable so we don't have to walk too far over?
Yeah. I'm going to try to get as close comfortably possible, but hopefully it'll maintain.
Okay.
I'll go grab the rest of my gear and I'll suit up. And I will go to grab my smart gun.
Okay. Captain, you do know that if you want to try, there is a harpoon gun on board the Montero.
I don't want to damage it any more than I have to, but it'll give us a better chance to anchor it.
Yeah, so essentially it will harpoon into the ship. As it punctures the hull, it will backfill to pressurize the cabin, to stop that hole from being depressurized. And you guys can tether yourself to the guideline and pull across, as opposed to just jumping into space and hoping inertia carries you to the ship.
No, that wasn't my plan.
Yeah.
It's the worst that could happen.
So if
my plan was to do the spin and throw him towards the ship.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to use the harpoon gun, it's a heavy machinery check.
Yeah.
And we can still check skills that we don't have ranks in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're able to reel it back every time, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Roy went to get his gun, but if anyone calls for him, he's a soldier. He's used to shooting. But otherwise, anyone who wants to take the harpoon up for grabs?
Open comms up. Hey, Roy. Before I get your guns, do you want to harpoon us to the ship?
That's affirmative, Captain. Heading to the harpoon gun right now.
I mean, even Roy could hopefully hit the broadside of a barn or broadside of a spaceship.
Roy, you.
I know you did,
I
my
clicked
dear.
the comms up.
Roy, you head over to the harpoon, and because you are a space marine, I'll let you roll shooting. I forget what the hell the stat is for shooting. I'll let you roll gun. You can roll ranged combat for this.
Okay, let me just figure out where that is.
Left side of
left side above ability.
There we go, range
Agility.
combat.
Yep.
Submit. 1 success.
Okay, perfect. You guys hear a compression of air inside the ship, followed by the loud clunk of the harpoon shattering through the hull of this thing. And from the starboard side of your ship, you see there is a tether line puncturing right near their auto lock. And you guys are able to exit that once you have your spacesuits, clip yourself on, and basically pull yourself across to join this ship. As you do.
Captain.
Thank you, Roy.
And as they're getting ready to go, and it's just like Willow and Scott. She's just gonna kind of lean in and just be like, "Watch your back, okay?"
Okay.
And she's gonna head to where and put on her suit.
I'm gonna have to stay on board though. I grab out the hand radio I have. Get sticky. It might not be the clearest sound, but it'll be something.
So, Captain, are you staying on board the ship?
Someone has to.
Okay. So Roy and Tasker, you head towards the bay. Alexis, are you doing the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So the three of you get there. There are spacesuits arranged in little cabinets. You guys can open those, don your spacesuits. Willow, you have I will say this, you have a walkie-talkie that you can talk to Scott with. Everyone has a comms array in their helmet that will talk to Mother and the ship's communications. So you have a private line to Scott if you need one, Tasker. So you guys
I also have the hand radio.
I also have a comms unit built in my gear, apparently.
Yeah, you all have a comms unit built into your gear for this ship. Alexis, do you have a hands? Who does your radio belong to?
Mine.
It's just yours. You just have one. Okay, cool.
It'll be the sort of the equivalent of one that you can pick up with local police frequencies when you're in various ports.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys enter this room. The first door closes. After you're suited up, it depressurizes and the external door opens.
So, question. My smart gun is mounted on top of me. Does that fit? Do I have it outside the spacesuit, or do I more need to bring it, de-suit, and put it on? I'm very unclear about how this weapon works.
Have you seen the movie Predator?
A long time ago, yes.
You know the shoulder-mounted cannon on the Predator?
Yeah.
That's what you have. You can attach it to your gear. You can take it off and attach it to your spacesuit.
Okay.
So it is.
The question was more
outside.
does the spacesuit have an attachment to it? But I think yes, then.
Absolutely does.
It's Velcro.
Yeah, it's just Velcro though.
Magic space Velcro.
Well, I do have body armor on, so.
Mm-hmm. So you guys all suit up and you clip your lines onto this this guide wire. Who is leading this expedition? Who's in front?
I would say Roy is, because he is the security guy.
Okay.
That's his job.
Perfect. Roy, you walk over to the edge of the compression doors. You clip yourself on. You sort of lean forward at a 45-degree angle and kick off. And as your lines sort of clink, you slide across this line, coming in, pretty hot towards the ship, but you're able to extend your hand, grab on, and as you do, you clink, your boots magnetize to the sides of this ship. You see a bunch of damage on the side of this thing, as if something was attached and tore off and broke a bunch of things. But you can see that to the right-hand side of the door is a rather large lever you can grab and sort of pull down to manually operate the door.
I would make, while I was gliding down, I would see if there's any kind of windows or portholes that I could see through to like, just like, is there anything dangerous? Is there anything weird looking? Is anything out of place as I go down to the ship?
Yeah, as you're going down, because you kind of rolled observation for this before as well, now that you're closer, you see that there is no external damage on this ship other than this entryway being damaged. It's not like they were in hyperspace and they hit like asteroids. There's no abnormal damage on the exterior of the hull. However, you do notice that all of their blast shields are still up on any kind of portholes, windows, etc. So they weren't navigating by sight, if they were navigating at all.
Okay, I'm going to manually open the door. Stand prepared to follow me as the door opens.
Yes,
And I
Roy,
will-
on your six.
I will jank down the thing that makes the door open, hopefully.
Okay. You yank down on this lever and the door and opens up fully. As you sort of grab on and pull yourself in, you're able to unhook from the line and into the complete lack of gravity inside this ship. You sort of clamp down on your boots and you magnetize the interior of the ship. You can see into the interior airlock door. There are no lights. There's not even runner lights in this place. It is completely cold and dark. Tasker, Knight, you slide in after, hit the wall, grab, pull yourself in, clamp, your boots clamp down.
I would also stand there to help them in, just to make it easier for them.
Perfect.
And she specifically goes in last, and she lets the colonial people go in first.
Okay. You hear on your internal comms, I have pulled a ship schematic. Please refer to your datapad. And you can all see, like, on your wrist datapad, there is a ship schematic of the USCSS Cronus. It is outdated because it's a 75-year-old or plus schematic, but you can see the ship's schematic.
Ooh.
Oh, someone's angling for some new RAM chips suddenly being useful.
She does not respond to your sass.
And
It's
does
not
she have
programmed with
does she
flippy
have it
comebacks
marked
yet.
where we are?
Oh, well, that's just rubbish.
Say that again, Tasker.
Is she? Do we have it marked or pinged where we are?
You do not, because there are no ships. There's no ship signal or stats from this ship itself. She can't track where you are in this ship.
Okay.
You know that you are in one of the airlocks on their port side, because you came out of your starboard side. So you would assume you're somewhere on the right side of the ship. It's as far as you can kind of get. Yes, I am playing music, G.
Okay, I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry.
Okay, people, take it nice and easy, slow, keep behind me, and we'll venture further in and see if we can make heads and toes in this ship.
What exactly are we doing? Where are we going?
Engine room.
And I would say Roy doesn't really know exactly what we're looking for. He's particularly more just looking for the people that are apparently missing, that are supposed to be here. So he will just venture into the ship, whatever part
Roy.
leads sort of inwards.
Roy, if there are survivors, they're old enough to be your grandmother. That's not the sort of thank you, Nookie, you are looking for.
I mean,
I
technically,
chime in.
technically
They
they're
could
not.
still be in hypersleep.
Yeah, they would be in hypersleep, so they would be whatever age they were when they entered hypersleep.
There's still an age difference.
There's the
I don't even
idea
know
of an
what age
distance,
I am at this point because of hypersleep. Come on.
right?
I ignore all of Alexis' sass.
Roy, you would know that the cryo chambers would be on the top deck of this ship. You're not entirely sure what deck you came in on, but you're pretty sure it is not the top deck. So you must either be on the second, possibly the third one. Judging by your looking at the ship, the lowest deck itself is mostly for cargo, perhaps like vehicle storage. The third deck is probably also cargo, so likely you came in on the second deck.
I think we're on deck 2. Do we want to go for the cryo pods, or do we have other objectives that takes priority?
We should at least check if they're alive first before stealing their stuff to power our ship.
Affirmative. I'll head to the cryo chambers, trying to locate them first then.
And I will move to somewhere that looks like it might be like, following the data pad, looking the corridors go here. I'm going to try to make some guesses as where the staircases are, or like the lifts or whatever it is in a spaceship that can go between decks.
Yeah, roll me survival.
Yay.
Middle right side.
Middle right side, thank you.
Okay.
1 success.
Yeah, so you begin to lead your exploratory crew down the main corridor. You open up the pod bay door, Hal, and you head down the main corridor. And kind of looking at the map, looking around at your surroundings, this is not a strange practice for you. You find that you believe you're in the living area. The forward side of the ship is to your right, essentially, and the back side of the ship is to your left. There are several junction points that are 4 of the ship. You can head towards the bridge. The bridge is also most likely on this level if you are, in fact, on level 2. And you know that there would be a lift near the bridge. There would be a lift near the aft of the ship. And there should be a lift somewhere around here, just based on general knowledge of ships. There's usually one in the center. If not, there is a large shaft in the center of the ship for, like, air recycling, so you can climb up the air tube.
I think Roy would try to do the easiest thing, so it's like searching in the middle one, heading towards... where would he go? I think he would head up to the bridge, actually, because, like, you have then the middle staircase, you have the air shaft, and you have the bridge. I mean, bridge is always nice to be able to have.
Yes, I agree. The bridge would be nice to have, wouldn't it? You begin to lead your party towards the bridge. And as we do that, we cut back to Scott. What are you doing in the ship all alone by yourself with Mother? You're muted.
You're muted.
Trying to get ahead on everything. I'm updating the ship's log and our status and situation. Later than updating that we found the ship out in the drift. How our reactor's damaged. And then after I get the log set up, I don't let the crew know, but I get a distress signal to get ready to shoot off as 24 hours pass. If 24 hours pass and I don't stop it, or all life signs disappear to go off. And I leave a message. This is Raphael Scott, captain and pilot of the USCSS Matarao. We have gotten lost in space due to our start maps and charts being completely off after a glitch when we took off. We have found a ship of legend that has been lost for about 73 years, the USCSS Cronus. Right now, we're seeing if anyone's still left alive in hypersleep. But if you're hearing this message, that means one of two things. I forgot to shut off the distress signal timer, or we're dead.
Okay.
Good luck to those who hear us.
You
Such an optimist.
you do
That's
that.
why he's the captain.
The message is saved and set for a 24-hour release from now. We cut back to the USCS Cronus as you guys proceed down a series of hallways in relative darkness. The helmet lights on your suit are the primary source of light that you guys have right now. And Roy, you lead everyone forward to the ship to where all of the hallways sort of convene at one point. And you see in big block letters bridge across the door. You kind of hit the button and the door does not budge. However, again, there's one of those levers that you can crank down to manually open this door, if you so choose.
Everyone ready? I'm going to open the bridge. Captain, you're still with us?
Yep.
Excellent.
We're loud and clear.
Entering bridge. And
I will pull the lever and hopefully the bridge door will open.
Okay. You pull this thing, it opens up wide, and you see a little bit of an orange glow inside this room. There is emergency illumination here, coming from several spots. All of the blast shutters are still down, like you saw when you were coming down here. All of the terminals are off. There appears to be no power in the bridge, so nothing here seems to be operational.
right, any of you eggheads know how to get this working so we can have some power?
She won't respond, but she will walk over to one of the terminals.
Mhm.
And the main. It's an older ship, right? So she's gonna walk over to the front command station.
Yep.
There and see if there's any way to turn it on.
Yeah, you walk around. You walk around past several of the piloting bays towards the actual command station. As you kind of walk around, you see that several of the terminals are actually blown out. Like there's like black soot around them. Some of the screens are shattered in the command station in particular. But these aren't powered down. The ship is powered down. The only way for you to restore power would be to restore power to the reactor.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds like a bum steer.
Take a look at this. The consoles are damaged. Can I tell by looking at it if it's an external damage, as in it's kind of blew up from the inside, or
you can
is it like
roll me a survival.
I definitely can do that. Gotta reopen my sheet. Survival. 1 success.
You can't tell.
Oh, sorry. No, no successes. I'm sorry.
You can't tell.
Could I perhaps try a spot of the old investigation and try and work out what happened here? Were these intentionally sabotaged?
You can try. You can try with an observation.
Yep.
Okay. You look around this area, trying to find out if this was done by internal or external forces. You see that there are several glass panels are shattered, much like Dr. Tasker found. Several of the key areas seem to be like the keyboards and stuff are smashed. You see that there's a holographic, or what would be a holographic display table that is shattered, and the interior components are melted. And you can see that there are slash marks in some of the chairs by, you would imagine to be like an axe or a bladed instrument of some kind.
Well,
And
someone got a little axe happy and a little stabby around here, so...
She's gonna come and look.
The chairs, my
God.
dear doctor. Alexis will spin one around.
Yeah.
and in the style of a glamorous assistant from a game show.
Perfect.
Dear God.
So you see that there is a slash that goes like through the back of the chair. It looks like it's deep enough to go to the front of the chair. Alexis, as you walk over and sort of put your hand on top of this thing and spin it around, who's around you besides Tasker? Did anyone else, Roy, did you follow them over, or are you pulling security?
I would rather be doing security since I don't know anything about making ships work. I know about saving people and protecting them.
Great. So you grab a top of this chair, you spin it around, and there, sitting in the chair, is about 3/4 of a human body. The part that's missing is the whole head. You see that their head is not cut off; it is just violently missing. There seems to be matter on the keyboards, as if something forcibly went through his head, and his head forcibly went to the keyboard.
She jumps and recoils as much as she can inside of her exosuit.
It would surely after 75 years skeletal.
The neck area seems to be skeletal. That's all you can see. It seems to be in some sort of suit.
Yeah. Okay.
What's going on the ship?
Both of you roll, add a stress die for me.
It has begun. It's a dead crewmate over here. Is there a name on their jumpsuit?
There is no name on his jumpsuit, and as you do you touch it to look?
She's not gonna touch it, but she's gonna get close.
Okay. As you kind of get close, there seems to be some strange mucus membrane that is all over his clothes. Perhaps preserving it in some capacity. And as you're looking down there, you see that next to him is a Model 37A2 shotgun.
She's gonna reach down to there's a pen. There's a pen sitting on the console, or a pencil. She's gonna look at the gun, the pen, pick up the pen, and then there's a weapon over here, Sergeant.
Suicide?
Suicide?
I'll head over to take a look as well when they point out that there's a dead crewmate over there.
I think not.
You head over there. You head over there, and Iquin, as payback for Call of Cthulhu, you walk over and you see a headless man with his brain shattered all over the keyboard. Take 1 stress, please. You can go ahead and add 1 stress.
Join the club.
You see an older model shotgun. And as you look at the shotgun, you see that it is empty of rounds.
Might be suicide. Don't think so, though. See shotgun here? Completely empty. Usually it only takes 1 shot.
Is there any well, I don't really think she would really know. So I won't even ask that question. She's going to take a pencil or whatever writing utensil she has and just kind of scrape it down this viscous membrane and then look at it.
Yeah, it's you go to scrape it down and the pen runs across it. It looked like a mucus membrane, but it feels hard, like carapace or cartilage. Yeah.
She taps it. Okay. Huh. Yes. And can I roll something?
You can roll me medic.
Can I roll an
Roll for
observation
bullshit?
and use my analysis talent?
Ooh, yeah. Go ahead and tell us what analysis does.
I roll an observation that anything that I've been studying for at least 1 turn, which I feel like I have.
Yeah.
And with every success I get to ask you a question from a list of questions.
Cool. So since you reminded me about 1 turn, everyone go ahead and roll me air, bottom left-hand corner of your character sheet.
Oh, roll air.
You included even though I'm on the ship.
Perfect. Oh yeah.
Oh no!
Every single one of you, please reduce your air supply by 1. Scott, you're fine. You have there is air on your ship.
We rolled it. Reduce the
man.
ship's air by 2.
Look at Captain Scott, Mr. Fancy Dan, with his factory installed air.
Sorry,
He's
guys.
even got
Um,
heated seats.
Go ahead and
And
roll
air
me
conditioning.
observation, Tasker.
Yeah. Roll observation. Come on. Ooh, I gain another.
Ooh, a stress die. Okay, so
But
that
I
is
got 2 successes.
so that is 3 successes. That is 3 successes.
Oh, is it?
Oh, sorry, no, it is 2 successes, and you gain another stress die. I should have pulled up the stress thing. You have to roll on the stress table. So
Ooh.
go ahead and roll me. I believe it is a straight up D6.
Okay, D6. Oh, or stress die? Is there because there's a roll button just called stress dice?
No, that will roll all of your stress die. So when you roll 1 or more ones or alien symbols on your stress die, you have to roll a panic roll. So, any friendly character who witnessed you stress out gains 1 stress. And you can go ahead and roll me a D6.
Ooh. A 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm incorrect. Roll me a D. What the hell?
D3, 6, 2d6, 3d6, d6, d6.
What the fuck? Oh, I see. Roll your stress die.
Okay, so roll
You're
the
right.
stress die button.
Yep, click the stress die button.
0
Okay.
successes.
Perfect. You are fine. But everyone, you do panic a little bit. You increase your stress die by 1, and just you.
So I'm now so I gained 1 for that.
You are at
for
2
my
stress die. Everyone
observation.
else is at 1 stress die. And you observe at a 2. So you get to ask me 2. Was it 2 questions?
2 questions. Yeah. So there's about 5 questions here that I could possibly ask. What is the purpose of this hard shell on the body? And in the description, I think it's like you have to answer to the best of your ability.
Yeah, it appears to be some sort of chitinous armor. As you look in the neck of this person, below the collarbone, it looks like the internal bits are relatively preserved. The rot has only set in around the neck hole.
Huh. And she's kind of tapping it with the pencil. It's like it's. Then she looks down the head hole.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's preserving the body. Look, and she'll kind of touch the pencil into the goopy area,
Mm-hmm.
and then tap it again on the shell area. This, even in space, the insides, it's still juicy, right? That shouldn't be happening. I think-
Ideally, he should be mummified.
Yeah, but I think this shell or whatever it is preserving him.
Captain,
Yep, I heard.
can you prepare so we can easily and hastily abort this mission and move away if needs arise?
Yeah, I'm bringing the ship closer, but I don't want to bring it too close. Something's in there and somehow alive after 70 years. Don't want it to jump on.
Well, this guy didn't make it into cryo, and so I do get a second question.
Yep.
So what was its purpose? I asked. I want to ask, is it dead or alive? I want to know if it's organic or not.
It appears to be organic.
It's from what I can tell, it's natural. It's this isn't synthetic. Ooh.
You will see Roy having a slightly more than usual worried look.
A more furrowed brow.
More dark, more broody.
More dark, more brooding.
And since this guy kind of escaped our notice the first time when we came in, are there any more bodies on the bridge?
There are not. There seems to be just this one.
Okay. And what seat was he sitting in? Can we tell?
Yeah, he is sitting in one of the pilot chairs on the left-hand side.
Okay.
I think we would go for some power. There's a lot of weird shit on this ship. And anyone having any other ideas? Otherwise, I would suggest we try to locate and see if we can get any reactor up and running.
Yeah. And before she leaves, she has a digital video camera on her gear. She's just gonna take a
quick scan of that guy.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yes, that's one for the family album. Gotta love the scientific mindset.
So you record this for posterity. And Roy, where are you leading everyone to?
Mike, I would like to lead them directly the straightest path to exactly where we need to go to get power without anything happening to us. Is that a possible answer?
Ooh, that's a good answer. No, but it's a good answer. It was a good, almost the best answer you could have given.
It was a marvelous endeavor into wishful thinking.
Yeah, the
Let's
best
see.
answer would have been, please attack me with a xenomorph. However,
yes.
second
Damn.
best is what you said.
Okay, so
you would know.
I would know that we're now at the bridge, which makes it easier to navigate since I can sort of blip myself.
Correct. You would also know that I was too lazy to put the other sides of the map on, and that the reactor is likely on the 3rd or 4th deck.
Knowing where we are, I would lead us to the closest staircase so we could move between the decks. And like I would also. All right, I can actually just do that.
As we move now, take note on your pads where we are and try to keep track of where we're going so we don't get lost again.
Okay. You exit the bridge, and you head to Junction B. This is the fastest path you were looking for. You sort of open this door, and there is a ladder down.
Roy would take points. I mean, he's the security detail, and he is the one with the biggest gun and the most body armor, I would presume.
Yeah.
Apparently, it looks like Tasker is unarmed.
Love that for you.
Yeah. And also, forget, she is walking with a limp, so she's a little slower than everybody else.
Yes, Captain.
I would click on and say, just quick questions. Just for possibly dealing with an alien creature. Don't know if it could survive 73 years with air or not. If anyone has a motion tracker, I would suggest turning it on now.
Aliens? What are you talking about?
Oh, he's
Well, you had an
really-
organic. You found an organic hard shell covering that's preserving a body. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but doesn't mean it's an alien.
Yes,
It's a
Raptor.
foreign life form that's not known to us. It's an alien, no matter what you say,
Oh,
until we figure out what it
Raptor.
is.
Get your head out of the Wayland Utari National Enquirer.
Right, people. We can discuss whether it is or is not an alien at a later point. Something hostile might still be here, and I will deploy my motion sensor now, Captain.
Thank you.
And
Roy.
I will do what the captain suggested and actually use my motion sensor. It has a range of long when we're inside stuff.
Love that. Everyone, please roll me air.
Oh. Yay.
Ooh,
Oh.
boy, oh boy. Roy, go ahead and reduce your air supply by 2. Everyone else, you guys keep breathing.
Yay!
Do we have like
So long.
indication on the pads that will warn us? Because my air is at 2 now.
Yeah, you have the same like tablet on your wrist. It has your O2 levels on it. Your O2 levels are at 40%. You pull out your tracker, and you sort of boop, 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 you boot that thing up. And as you boot that up, you hear boop, boop, and you see on this green screen, you see the sonar symbol, and there is, boop, one thing within a long range of you, and then boop, 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 the two next to you.
Right. Does it tell me like distance wise in any
It doesn't.
way?
So it tells you, it goes to long range, which like long range is like 100 meters, I think. So you have from where you are, and there's just like this concentric circles. So I think there's like 5 concentric circles. So 100 divided by 5, each one is 20 meters. This one is towards the 180 to 100 meters out kind of thing. Okay. And the other 2 are directly next to the center, so you assume they are your allies here.
Nice.
But you see this, boop.
We got movement, people. Stay alert. Also, if you spot any O2, let me know. Mine is running low.
Good to know.
Roy, did you forgot to tighten the hose again?
I don't think so, Captain. I usually do my maintenance dutifully. There might be a leak somewhere. Weren't you supposed to change the O2 system when we were in dock?
Wayland didn't give us enough money up front for this trip. They gave us 10%, and it was the only job offering at the time.
I understand, Captain. Reading it loud and clear. Don't think it's a problem for the moment. I will try to top up my O2 if we find any, and we'll let you know how we progress. We will be moving...
Where will we be moving, Mike? Was it to the 4th deck, you said?
To the reactor, which is on this deck.
Oh, it's on this deck?
3.
Oh.
Deck 3.
Oh, deck 3.
Just a quick question. Would we be passing any airlocks?
So right now you're in a ladder. So you basically went down a floor, got out of the ladder room, and you're in a hallway. The airlocks to leave the ship would be on the main deck, which is the one you just left, or on the 4th deck, which would be like the cargo bay doors. So no. I mean, all the doors have like airlock sealing on them, so like you can open them in case it's like explosive decompression, they'll seal, but no external airlocks.
Okay. I was just thinking of that could be where extra spacesuits are stored. We could get some more air.
You guys exit the ladder well onto the 3rd deck. You exit out into a hallway. The hallway extends to your left, to your right, and you can see that there are 2 additional hallways that extend towards the back of the ship. Where are you taking everyone, Roy?
Where was the blip coming from, direction-wise, when I saw the movement?
Of course, it's coming from the exact direction you need to go, which is towards the aft of the ship, where the reactor is. Why wouldn't it be there?
Captain, we made it to the 3rd deck. We need to head towards the reactor, and we have possible hostiles in our way. I've detected motion in front of us.
Roy, as you say that and you look back down, you just hear boop boop. Boop boop. There's no 3rd boop.
Motion has ceased. Everyone, keep your eyes open.
Roy, please take +1 stress die. You guys head down the hallway towards the aft of the ship, where Roy has indicated the reactor is. And as you head down a walled hallway, nothing on either side of you, you exit that hallway onto a corrugated metal catwalk. You can see down below you is a massive cargo bay. This probably leads down to the 4th deck below you, but the catwalk sort of conjoins and has a central catwalk down towards where you assume the reactor core and the coolant tanks would be. Yeah, that's what you see as you go on. Roy, I assume you're glued to your tracker, and there is still only the boop boops of your 2 companions, no 3rd boop. Are you guys heading down the catwalk towards the reactor?
Yes, sort of. Because I'm not looking at the proper deck here. Is there anything that we can see in this immediate area that would indicate Mother?
As in, like, Mother's mainframe?
Yeah.
No.
Because she's not on either. So I was thinking if there's any way we could turn her on.
You can't. So you would know you can't turn on anything until you turn the reactor on. Everything is powered by
Sorry.
if there's no battery, there's no power to anything.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess we're going down or what?
I
Negative. If I understand this correctly, we are on the third deck where we need to be, and the reactor room should be in the aft. So we need to move down this hallway, and I will point it. And we need to go by the spot where my motion detection noticed movement. That's why we need to stay alert. Something was moving there, and it stopped.
It's one of the, and she kind of says this to herself, but loud enough for them to hear. It's like, one of the crewmates, like, still alive and let themselves out of cryo.
And went space crazy and murdered their crewmates.
Do I know what I know? What I know, without power, how does cryo work? Like, how are they in cryo if there's no power in the ship?
So what it does is there is emergency supply, and when everything is shut down, it will only keep those on.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Roy, you lead everyone down the catwalk, or across the catwalk is a better definition. You lead everyone across the catwalk to the final balcony that overlooks the storage below you. You are able to head across the catwalk and around towards where your map indicates the reactor relay control, if you're not mistaken in your navigation. You round the corner and you see that there is a dim light coming from the reactor relay control room. The reactor would be beyond that. It is a dull, pale blue, sort of casting shadows out of the opened reactor door. But you are the first one to go there. What would you like to do?
Roy would stop, sort of giving, the closed stop sign, closest stop sign, look around, and he would then just I don't know why he would do it quietly. I imagine that even though we're talking over radios inside our spacesuits, is what I gathered, he would still just sort of hush his voice in the radios and be like,
blue light up ahead, no further signs of movement. Anyone knows if this is a good or a bad sign that we have blue light?
I have no idea. And
All
do
right.
we see other signs of damage or death?
Do you go into the reactor room, or do you go to the door?
Not yet, but as we've been going, have we seen
No,
gunshots
you have seen
or anything?
you have seen nothing.
I'm gonna go through Mother's database on the ship and go through the help guide of owners, like blue flashing lights and reactor room with the comm check.
What does 2 blue lights and a green light mean on the back of the reactor? So you begin running through that. Roll me a comm tech, Scott.
what's error code E7?
Okay. You begin running through reactor core maintenance 101, and I will let you know what you find in a minute here. But in the meantime, everyone, please roll me air.
Air. Oh, just requiring this air is so damn tiresome.
Ooh. You see, I believe, Dr. Willow, you pop down. You are at 60% air. I believe, El Profo, Alexis Knight, you are at 60% air. And Sergeant Roy, you are at 20% air. As your thing, boop, and you see the 20% turn red. As you, actually, are you rounding the corner, Roy?
Yeah, I was going to say, once nobody can really give me an answer for if it's good or bad, he's just going to be like, yep, follow me, and then going to progress towards it. I mean, nothing's going to happen if we don't check anything out. So since nobody said this is dangerous, he's going to be like, well, precaution, and then move forward.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. So you enter into the reactor relay and control room, and you see that there is some kind of disgusting, yellowy, white, resin covering almost all of the chamber. This is it's like thick thick webbing almost, and it has that same kind of like mucous membrane sheen as the man in the bridge. It covers a whole bunch of things. There is furniture in here, like the chairs and the desks are torn to shreds, ripped apart, shattered desks. The doorway that leads to the reactor, covered in this webbing, and you can see that this webbing extends into and around the reactor room. You can see that from the door as you go to walk in. What are you doing?
Doc, here's something else for you to grab for your home movie.
Yeah, she's like,
This looks disgusting.
holy shit.
Can
And
you
she's-
upload that to Captain? Can we have a live feed going? Does that thing do that? Or is it record only?
It's digital. No, I don't think it can transmit.
I think we would probably need to hardwire it to the ship's computer here that doesn't work.
So it's
Right.
covering the entire room, and I'm assuming it's covering the whole engine too. Like if I take a look at it, there's no way for us to
You'd
turn
have-
the engine on.
You'd have to remove this.
Yeah.
So, Captain, we have come across the reactor room. There is some disgusting thing, yellowy something on everything in here. Reactor's foobar. We'll need to do some heavy maintenance, removing foreign subjects from it before it can function.
All right. You guys have been in there for a while. Come back to the ship so that way we can strategize a plan to get that off the reactor. Keep a close eye on your motion detector right now. I don't trust this.
Yeah, my air is getting critically low. Like I said, if anyone spots some O2, let me know. I think at least I need to head back to retop my air canisters.
Yeah. And she's filming. That might be a good idea.
Everyone,
Maybe
go ahead and roll me observation.
Yay.
I hate this game.
Captain 2, even though I
No,
can't
no,
see
you're not.
anything.
You're not there.
Observation. Submit.
Okay.
Woo.
Fantastic. Oh, buddy, Roy. In the center of your sheet, near the top, where it says roll buttons, there's one on the left-hand side that says panic. Please go ahead and roll me the panic button.
There you go. That's the panic button. It rolled me a 6.
Ooh, boy. I rolled you a 6. Okay, good. That's the number you want to roll. Roy, you keep it together. You manage to keep your nerves in check. Well, barely.
What is it the Marine says? Ooh ha.
Yeah, hoorah. Colonial Marshal Knight, you go to turn to leave, as you have all decided to do, and you could have sworn you saw movement out of the corner of your eye. Right by the reactor.
It's filming.
Something by the reactor was that
What? What'd you say?
reactor movement? No?
Are you saying that we have movement in the reactor?
Yeah,
Would
she's
have
gonna.
been.
I will immediately check the motion scanner.
Roy, you
She's
look
gone.
down at your motion scanner and you see the last vestiges of a white blip fading away.
Affirmative movement. Come on, people. Let's back out of here slowly.
She's gonna back up, and she's
Okay.
gonna. I know she's gonna keep the thing on.
Great.
What is it?
You guys, camera in hand, slowly back out. I assume Willow is second, and Roy has his gun at the ready and is the last person out of there. And you begin to see some of this webbing and like goo move as what looks to be someone in a spacesuit is slowly like putting hands and like pulling themselves out of this like goo encrusted blanket, essentially. And you see that their entire body and the spacesuit is covered in that strange mucus membrane. And we cut to the bridge of the Montero. Come on, guys. You know how this works. Captain Scott, you read through the reactor repair. There's nothing in there for blinking blue light. There's also nothing in there for whitish yellow goo covering. Those shouldn't be on the reactor. The only reference you can find to a blue light is a reactor core leak, which is probably bad news bears. You find that, that blue light is usually a crack in the reactor core, and it is emitting light from the extrusion process. But there is nothing about whatever the hell this white-yellow goo is. And you notice that there is chatter coming over your comms, reporting some kind of movement. What are you doing, Captain Scott?
I'm gonna get the ship closer as possible and tell them book it on the double. That reactor is cracked too. Don't want to stay in there. Who's ever been in there probably don't want to meet them.
Okay. So you relay this along the comms, and you hit a few buttons, and you power up the engines again to try to move the ship closer to give them less a distance to cross to get back to your ship as soon as possible. And the engines do not, in fact, fire. Instead, you hear Mother come along your comms, and only your comms, and say, "Displacement drive malfunction. Cascade failure imminent. Fission reactor overload in T-minus 10 minutes." Captain, please increase your stress by 1.
I go over their comms. Ship's not gonna last.
What?
You're gonna have to deal with what's in there. I'm gonna have to separate, get away from the ship. It's about to blow.
Whoa, what?
What?
You were fine 5 minutes ago.
Something must have happened to the reactor. Fuck, I should have been paying attention to it.
Everything's foobar. Please hurry, Captain. We'll try to come and meet up you where the entrance point is.
No, it's our ship that's about to blow.
Yes, we'll come to this ship's entrance point to meet you as you get away from our ship.
I'm gonna have to get the ship away from you guys. It's the only way you're gonna live.
What about you? You gotta get to safety. Get to an escape pod.
They're broken.
Can you
What?
rig it? Can you rig it to go away as you jump out, Captain?
How systems have been going, I'm gonna check, but I doubt autopilot's gonna work at the moment. Mother, am I correct?
So you try to punch in. Mother doesn't respond to you, actually. But you try to punch in a few keys to see if you can engage the autopilot away from this. Roll me a Comtech.
Nope.
Roll me Panic.
Panic. Where was that again?
Top of your character sheet to the right, to the left-hand side.
In the roll button section.
In the big central roll buttons.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord.
Great.
don't know
Cool.
what that means.
You have a nervous twitch. Your stress level and anyone around you increases by 1. So as you start to hit commands and panic type across this thing, just trying to find ways to get out of this, you are able to engage reserve thrusters, the little tiny ones that help you acutely angle the ship. That's tss, 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 tss. You can engage all of them and hopefully push the ship slightly away from where you are now. There is no way for you to pilot this ship away with or without you on it. It will explode. It will likely damage the ship next to you. This is the best chance you have, and you can set them to automatic if you'd like.
You know what? I'm gonna separate the grapple hook first.
Okay, so you sprint down your own hallway, you run over to the harpoon, you sever the cable, it just sort of wriggles in space as it is removed from that thing. A second harpoon thunk, falls into place, and you book it back to the bridge.
I'm not booking it back to the bridge.
Oh, okay, you're not booking it back to the bridge.
I'm going to the engine room.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to manually turn on the engines to fire.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm bringing my mechanic jack with me. So
Okay.
no doubt this is going to help.
What does the mechanic check give you a bonus for?
It gives me, if I remember correctly, I can't pull it up on this one.
Brings you a bonus
plus,
to heavy machinery?
Yeah, I think a +2.
That sounds right. So you unhook this javelin, you run back towards the after the ship into the reactor core room. The same thing, klaxons are for the reactor core imminent meltdown, and you break away to the left engine room, right engine room, hook up this jack, and roll me heavy machinery with your +2. Love that for me.
No, I'm going to use my ability, Recklessness, and re-roll that.
Okay.
Nice.
No successes. You can push and take stress. You take a stress first, and then you can re-roll.
All right.
Are you adding a +2
Yeah.
for heavy machine?
I just have nothing. I just have.
Because
Yeah,
you're only
plus
rolling.
2.
You're only rolling stress dice right now. Let me see here. Let me open your character sheet. Let's double check here. Did you put 2 in ranged combat, or did you put 2 in heavy machinery?
I put it in ranged combat originally.
Yeah.
But
So-
the modifiers, you can add a +2 to it before you roll.
Why is it not rolling that for you? Let me click on this and see. I rolled that. I don't know why your heavy machinery is not rolling the appropriate number of dice. Are you clicking on the heavy machinery button?
Yeah.
That's weird. Cool. We'll go with that roll. Because you should have been rolling far more dice than that previously. You should have been rolling 3 + 2, 3 for strength +2 for the bonus. So yeah, you have 2 successes. Fantastic. You anytime you only roll yellow dice, it's only stress dice, and you can remove one of those stresses because the roll fucked up for you. So you're able to get this jack in there, hook it up to engine 1, hook it up to engine 2. They begin to and they fire to life. They are it's going to take a second, but they're going to power up and push the ship away. What are you doing? Are you headed back to the bridge? Or are you headed back to the pod bay door?
Gonna go to the pod bay door. Before I leave, I go, Mother, if you're still listening, send out the distress beacon, update the ship was about to explode. We're stuck, there's motion catch on the other ship. Don't know what's there, don't know if we'll survive. Send it now.
Sending distress beacon. You sprint down the corridor, pulling on pant legs, throwing arms through the jacket. You're cinching up the straps on your spacesuit, and you grab the helmet as you pull this thing on. And I presume, are you firing the harpoon? Or are you just going to leap for it?
I might have to leap for it.
Okay, roll me a mobility check. Would you like to push that?
Wow.
Whew.
I knew my rolls were going to be bad because last week on my normal game, I rolled 19s all day. I'm going to have to push it.
Okay, add a stress, then re-roll. Ooh, boy, you get the helmet secured, and it won't lock in place, and you sort of bang, 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 click. You click it into place. You hit the door. It just explosive decompression. This shit is flying out of the side of your ship as you grab both of the red bars, and you sort of lean back and slingshot yourself as the ship begins to outpace the Cronus. Everything sort of slows down as you jump across. You see the tether just whipping in space as you move forward towards this thing. You are just to the right-hand side of the door, but you're able to snap and grab onto debris. And you see that the door is closed, but you see that there is that red handle that you can depress and sort of crank that thing down. And as you are able to and sort of grapple yourself into this thing. The door closes behind you. That's where we're going to end this part 1, because apparently we're doing multiple parts of this Alien episode. This is where part 1 ends. The captain has made it, and there's something moving below deck, which is interesting.
As long as long as he badassly saved little Mike, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. But the ship's captain is both named in your honor, and Michael Collins, the commander of the moon missions.
That was the problem, is he couldn't get it on as he's pulling his suit on. The cat didn't want anything to do with that.
Well, we could have had kitty-sized spacesuit, you know.
That's true.
But,
That's true.
Do Wayland already make those?
Do love these Patreon one-shots we're currently playing.
Listen, there's a couple of one-shots.
When he lands on the side of the Cronus, the cat head just pops up
into his hat, into his helmet. Cool. So that was an unintentional part 1. So let's go around, do some introductions, and we're going to do our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, it's going to be on Patreon. A link for that down below. And you'll have to tune in next time for additional parts to this episode. So let's go around. We'll start with Iquin. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hey, I'm Iquin. I think I'm still the resident Swede in the Discord. Come hang out with us in the Discord. That's where you will find me primarily. And come have fun.
Perfect. G, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm G. I'm Lightning Invoker on Twitch and in the Discord. That's where you'll find me mostly. And Lightning Spaz 09 on Twitter. You can follow me there, and you'll find me everything unMadeGaming.
Perfect. Red Oak, what are you doing? Who are you? Where can we find you? And what? That's it. Those are all the questions, I think.
Yeah, I'm the Red Oak Shield Virus. Don't really go on Twitter much or anything. You'll find me here on chat on Twitch when I have the time, or maybe once a month show up in the Discord.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, El Propo, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
When I am not writing Atari Twilight fan fiction, I'll be thinking about writing Atari Twilight fan fiction, or Atari Twilight and one of the Tales from the Loop one-shot crossover fan fiction. It's what I do. I probably don't. I probably only post about writing problems on Twitter, but apparently it's on brand.
Perfect. That's it from us, guys. We're going to do the after show again. If you guys want that, it's over on our Patreon. While you're down there, click on that Discord button, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And yes, I did see that we hit a second corruption bar. Don't you worry. I'll save that for the opening of next episode.
We'll remind him.
Yeah. So, we will see you all next month for more of this, but stick around today. We have another one-shot coming up, which is actually not a one-shot, apparently. Another not one-shot. So, we will see you guys back here in a little bit. So stick around. But for now, we're going to do this after show. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.